That's a bad clap. There we go. Hey, fellas, your commissioner here. Coming at you for a little week six. Week six of NFL action. The last ever State of the Union for myself as a single man. Right? Well, I guess I'm not technically single, but as an unmarried man. So, very exciting times. Make sure the mic's working. Good. Start off as we always do. Hashtag wedding week. Hogs, lost another one-score game. I think Pittman's 5-12 in one-score games in his tenure. So that's sick. Expectations they're gone now. So it doesn't sting as bad. We'll probably get our little asses whooped by Alabama this weekend. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I do that too much. The offensive line just has no pride, right? It just has no pride. It has no, we're in the SEC. We should be good, So I don't know how our offense could look any worse after Kendall Briles left, but I'll be damned if Dan Enos hasn't figured out a way to make that happen, So Dan's head needs to roll, and quickly, and very quickly. If he lasts the season, it'll be a travesty. And it'll probably end up getting old Sam fired, So it just sucks. I hate that KJ's last year has been basically just destroyed by Dan Enos. So I don't know how this guy turned Brandon Allen and Austin Allen, or Brandon Allen at least, into an NFL quarterback, granted a backup quarterback, but he's been in the NFL for fucking 7 years. And then he has this specimen in KJ, and he can't do anything with them, That makes no sense. It makes no sense. So, anyways, that's that. We'll go ahead here and get into a recap of last week's games. Start off with the RX Bar game of the week. That was between the Cataclysmic Catches and the Dirty Birds of War. The highest scoring game of the week. So, hey, finally, the curse of the game of the week doesn't, totally make two shitty games. I think the universe probably knew what the game of the week should have been and punished them accordingly for it, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Huge win for Wilson. He started out the season 0-2. He's now won 3 in a row, 141 to 123 to get to 3-2. Conversely, the Dirty Birds, after me proclaiming that they were back, the bad man is back, right? Lord Voldemort, he who must not be named, is back. Well, wouldn't you know it, they're on a 2-game losing streak, So from 3-0 to 3-2, respectable week, honestly, from Connor. 123 points is going to get you a win most weeks. Didn't this week. Wilson, the highest scoring team. Pretty much his whole team performed. His 2 new acquisitions from the trade, looks like he fleeced me early returns anyway. Unfortunately for James Conner, is on the IR. Knew that was inevitable. That's where I was really trying to offload Conner. Didn't want him. Knew he was going to get hurt. That's what this guy does, right? But Hopkins has best game of the year. Thielen just, what the fuck? Adam Thielen. Where has this been? Where was this last year whenever I traded for you, Adam? Huh? Where was this? Nowhere. And Kupp comes back fully healthy. He looks like the healthiest guy who's ever lived. 20 points. Sam Laporta, 3 catches, 2 touchdowns. Another 20 points. Mahomes, pedestrian, 24 ho-hum points game. It's quite a sight to see. Now, his bench is dog shit, like most teams, but Wilson's here, man. He's here. He made the playoffs last year, and I think he clearly liked it. He got a little taste, and he wants the whole thing now. And for Plunk, of course, had Keenan Allen on bye. Unfortunate for him. Hate to see that. Didn't play Zach Moss. Hate to see that. 33 points on the bench. Wow. Well, that probably would have swung the game in his favor, but unfortunately it didn't. He played Michael Wilson instead, who got 3 points. That's why you don't go chase the waiver wire bait, But teach their own. Connor, he's a young owner in this league, right? He'll figure it out. He's a smart guy, right? James Cook has been extremely mediocre. Lamar up and down, up and down. I guess he had 3 really good weeks in a row, but not great week 1, not great last week. A-Chain on the IR for at least a month. He really, this performance kind of got saved. 123. Jamar Chase had an historic day, right? 52 points from Jamar Chase. Drake London had 15 points. That's probably his best game he's going to have all season in the Arthur Smith offense. You know what I mean? He was looking at a lot of his players' ceilings this week or last week rather. And we'll be interested to see how he responds going forward. But, really, if Jamar just has a regular game, plunks down there in the low 100s, maybe even the 90s, right? So take that with a little grain of salt. His team certainly has his potential to pop off, but I don't know, So, and with Wilson, you got to be concerned with the second running back. He basically doesn't have one, but he's got enough other good players that he should be able to make up for it. Next tier doesn't contribute, shades to dynasty. Huge win for Craig. Come back on Monday night, wins 121 to 111. Dak Prescott, cut. See ya. Needs to be cut in real life, probably too. McCaffrey had one of his worst games of the season. They just didn't need him. The Dallas Cowboys are so bad of a franchise. They didn't need to use him. Tony Pollard has looked not great. Ridley got back on track. Michael Thomas, 10 points. That's just kind of what he does. Slant boy. That Saints offense is just kind of poopy. You know what I mean? Tyler Boyd, so. Kelsey, monster game, of course. Addison looks like he might be unlocked. That's a huge. Justin Jefferson's injury is huge boon for D Shade. But Craig, really carried by a monster game from Justin Fields on Thursday night. Looked like he was going to run away from it. And then the morning slate started, and his players just basically did nothing. They did nothing. He didn't have a single player on Sunday score double digits. I'm taking that back. He had one player, Zay Flowers, who could have had a 25-point game if he knew how to catch the ball. But see, this is why you don't bring in guys like Nelson Aguilar. All right, they're a cancer. They just spread the dropsies to all these other good elite wide receivers. And if I was the Ravens, I would cut Nelson Aguilar immediately. And maybe I'm just jaded because he lost me some money. Who knows? But you don't want that guy on your team. I can promise you that. Okay. But Jacoby, great game from him. His second best game of the year. I mean, really, when he's played outside of last week against the Chargers, he's been extremely reliable, extremely solid. Josh Jacobs, good game. He had no DK Metcalf this week. Looks like Rashee Rice might be coming on. He's got Brock Purdy in the wings too, who's been a monster. Craig, he can make some noise here. He can make some noise at 3-2, won 2 in a row. And conversely, another team who started 3-0, D Shade has lost 2 in a row, and he's also now 3-2. Moving on, we got Father Figures. Can you feel the love? Rip. Hey, good job, Rip. You got your first win of the year. It's about damn time, huh? 1-4 now on the season. Wins 120 to 108 over the Father Figures, falls to 2-3. Yikes. Jordan Love he had a chance. All right. Ford had a chance on Monday night. He needed about 20 points from Jordan Love to seal the victory. And, Jordan Love proved his true colors. He's not that guy, pal. Trust me, he's not that guy. 6.8 points, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. And, I hate to do it to you, Ford, but, I mean, it's as soon as you saw that I had Dobbs in the lineup, you got to pivot away from Jordan Love. I know Russ is dog shit. He had a good game, 21 points. But you just have to know. I told the league. I told everybody. I said, Dobbs, if I play Dobbs, he's not going to do jack shit. And we'll get to that. Put a pin in that one for now. And we'll see maybe if I was proven right or wrong. Spoiler alert, based on Jordan Love. What do you think happened? But Bijan, not a great game. Houston's legit. Houston's actually a good team now, guys. Like, you can't just, Houston's a fantasy factory point factory. It's not the case anymore. D'Amico's got that defense humming. CJ Stroud's got that offense humming. And, they're legit. They're a legit team. And especially in that AFC South, which is just probably the worst division in football. They got shot. Well, I don't know. I mean, the Colts are okay, right? The Jags are okay. The Titans stink, But golly, the Titans. What I feel sorry for anybody who's a fan of that franchise. That's even worse than being a Falcons fan, I think. Maybe even worse than being a Razorback fan, because there's just no reason to get excited about the Titans ever. Literally ever, right? But, Joe Mixon, okay game. Hollywood's been solid. Pickens, monster game. Josh Reynolds, monster game. Waller, monster game. And then you got Marvin Mims, negative 0.6 points. And granted, he was hit pretty heavy with the buys. No Kenny Walker, no Smith and Jigbo, who's been bad anyway, and no Amari Cooper. So his hands were tied. 108, Ford, I think if this was a normal week, he easily wins this one despite Jordan Love's ineptitude at playing the sport that he's paid millions of dollars to play. But anyway, enough about Ford, right? We got to talk about Rip. Rip wins despite getting a gooser from his RB2, Gary Brightwell. No idea why he doesn't play. It didn't need it. It didn't matter. But no idea why he doesn't play A.J. Dillon. Instead, Roschon stinks. He throws in Jameson Williams on his return. He's not good. Dallas Goedert, though. Hey, Dallas Goedert is basically Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall, and Dallas Goedert carried him to victory. He had a great spot start from Curtis Samuel on Thursday night to get his week going, 20 points. Debo, again, kind of underwhelming. Devontae, yikes, 1.6 points. But, Breece, it was good to see Breece get going again. If only they were playing the Broncos every week. Unfortunately, they don't happen. That doesn't happen, and I don't think that he's going to keep this going on for much longer. Because Zach Wilson's he's not good. He's not a good quarterback. He shows flashes, right, but that offense is not good. But, yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, what a beast. Number 2 quarterback on the season. Outside of a little shaky week 1, 25 points a week, 30 points a week. Come on. How can you not love that? I mean, he's basically guaranteed a rushing touchdown pretty much every week. He's had at least 2 touchdowns every single game this season combined between rushing and passing. Rip's got some pieces now. He can make some plays. But, we've got Saquon coming back. Hey, Duncan started 0-4 last year, made the playoffs. Stranger things have happened. So maybe he's going to start a new trend. Next here, we got the McConkners and the Swamp Donkeys. JD, big win for him, 125-114 over the Swamp Donkeys. Blaine falls to 2-3. JD gets up to 2-3. For Blaine, it was really the Josh Allen show. He had no Jamar Gibbs, who's an RB3. No Mike Evans. No St. Brown. Right, so he's down 2 of his top 4 wide receivers. He's down his RB2. So for him to still put up 114 is pretty commendable. Really carried by Josh Allen over in London. And Kamara has been great in his return so far, looking like one of the steals of the draft. When did he draft him? Even 61st overall. What is that, like the 5th round? 12 times 5 is 60, so the top of the 6th? Is that right? Somewhere around there. Is that 601? Is that right? It's got to be, right? My math is correct. So, yeah, I mean, what a bargain. Great keeper value. But Kincaid stinks. Brandon Cooks stinks. Puka's still that guy. A.J. Brown's that guy. So commendable. Brighter days ahead for the Swamp Donkeys. Would have loved to steal one, but JD put up a respectable point total. He deserved to win for sure. Hunter Henry got nothing out of him. Burrow finally looks like he's maybe back. He didn't have Rachaad White, didn't have T. Higgins, but Gabe Davis, fuck that guy too, right? I mean, Gabe Davis, 22 points. Hold on. He can't keep this up. He can't keep getting away with this. Gabe Davis, that little guy. He can't keep getting away with it. He can't. There's just no way. I traded him. I was all in on Gabe Davis stock after the end of 2 seasons ago. And he proceeded to do nothing all last season, right? And so, I'm done with him. I can't. He doesn't want to play for me. So I trade him away. And now look at the shit look at this run that he's been on, right? 21 points, 11 points, 15 points, 22 points, touchdown in each of his last 4 games. Can't do it, right? He cannot keep it up. It's impossible. It's improbable. But DJ Moore really is the story here, right? I mean, 49 points on Thursday night. It was an uphill battle for Blaine right from that, right? I mean, JD's team is not that good, okay? It's not 125 points a week, good, because DJ Moore is not going to score that many points every week. But he has been very, very solid each of the last 4 weeks. So, it looks like Fields and him, that's about the only guy that Fields knows how to throw to. That's the only guy on the team who can catch. So, but Sanders stinks. Dameon Pierce, just not it this season. And Captain Kirk was, forgettable. Very forgettable last couple games. So, anyway, next year, penultimate matchup, Kickers Lives Matter, Razorback Revival. This was huge. Nick really needed this to stave off a 1-4 start to the season. He wins an ugly one, 113-98. The second lowest winner on the week. The fourth or fifth lowest point total on the week. To get to 2-3, he's won 2 in a row. Conversely, Duncan has lost 2 in a row now to fall to 2-3 after starting 2-1. Numbers, Allen from the Hanover, numbers floating around your head. Keep up. Unfortunately for Nick, his best offensive weapon, Anthony Richardson's on the IR now. Got hurt again early in the game. Just plays with a reckless abandon, this guy, right? Fun to watch, fun to play, but if he can't protect himself, it's not going to cut it, right? And Josh Dobbs, the Josh Dobbs experiment, poor guy. This is what happens with these guys that they have great success on the waivers, on nobody's team, nobody's starting lineup, and every time, without fail, whenever you finally choose to pick them up and plug them in your starting lineup, they give you shit. They give you bullshit, right? I mean, 12 points after 28, 19, and 27. 3 straight good to great games from a quarterback. It's sad. It's sad to see, but he didn't have any other choice with Watson on bye. Probably going to have to roll with another quarterback again because I don't think Watson's going to play again next week. But we'll get to that when we get to it. I thought that was Phillip Rivers for a second. I saw Ronnie Rivers' name. I was like, oh, he's got old Phil? Damn, what's he know? Lockett was on bye. He didn't play Tajay Spears, but Kittle monster game. Sutton, he stinks. Justin Jefferson's on IR. That's huge. That's a huge loss for Duncan. Buddy, Duncan, that sucks, brother. No, you got no quarterback. You got no elite top end wide receiver. Might be some rough days ahead for you, my friend. There might be some rough days ahead. So, and then for Nick, again, going back to his team, Travis Etienne, great game, and Montgomery. It's really been carried by his running backs. Historically, you cannot win this league on running backs alone. You can win some games with them, sure. But his wide receivers are still very, very concerning for me. Christian Watson has a guy who doesn't know how to throw the ball. Garrett Wilson's got a guy who doesn't know how to throw the ball. Only have sex with moms. Jalen Waddle, he's unfortunately second fiddle to probably the best wide receiver in the league right now, and I don't know. It's unfortunate for him. And King Henry said he's in a timeshare with a rookie with no knees. Tyjae Spears has no kneecaps. He's got no ligaments in his knees, and yet he's taken from the king. Are you kidding me? What does that say about him? Tight ends just poop. He finally doesn't play Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has 16 points. Oh gosh, hate that for him. I just really do. So, anyways, that's 3-2, and then we're finally at our horse ass matchup of the week. Dog shit, throw up all over themselves, cat piss, garbage pail game. 98-95. Horse ass wins to get to 3-2. Give Suave Olave his first loss of the season. Falls to 4-1. Savoy certainly didn't deserve to win. I certainly didn't deserve to win. Hey Loki, what's up? You want to get in? Come on, let go. There's Loki. He's a camera hog. He likes to be the center of attention. So what's up? Hey. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Let go. Declaw me. All right. Yep. Good boy. All right. Outside of Tua and Tyreek, just pretty much bullshit from the whole team. I was down 7 points going into Monday night with Devontae Adams and Romeo Doubs left to play. Savoy had Aaron Jones. It's like, it's going to be close, right? It's going to be close. Savoy was texting me Sunday morning, hey, if Aaron Jones doesn't play, am I going to be punished? But I was like, no, come on, he's going to play. He played last week. Why would he be out this week? Are you kidding me? That never happens. He practiced all week. What? No way. Sure enough, Aaron Jones scratched Monday afternoon. Doesn't play, and that's literally the only reason I won. Because Aaron Jones plays, I lose this game by 20 points, probably. Because Dobbs got 1 catch for 4 yards, and Devontae Adams got 4 catches for 45 yards. And that was it. To only win by 3 points. Way closer than it needed to be given the circumstances. And it's just fucking pathetic. It's just pathetic is what it is. It makes me sick to my stomach. I say this all the time. Whenever teams win and don't break 100 points, and here I am doing it. You got to practice what you preach, right? And for me I'm not going to negate the win, I mean, certainly let's not get crazy. Golly, this guy. But it just makes me sick. I don't feel good about this win. In my mind, I'm 2-3. And, it's like, oh, it's a lock. You're going to win. I mean, we were going deep into the third quarter before I took the lead. I think it was even the fourth quarter until I took the lead finally for something that should have been wrapped up with a bow in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Dobbs didn't even get a target the whole first half. He got a target to help kind of seal the loss for the Packers there late and dropped it, hit him right in the fucking chest, dropped it. Stinks. This guy stinks. He knows. He's got like an alert. Say, hey, bring that wood. Horse ass has got you in. So just take the week off. Right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Savoy had him last year too, I think. So clearly still working for the other team. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. But, Hawkinson, whatever. Wandale had 5 catches for 18 yards. Garbage. Jonathan Taylor had 6 carries. Madison saved the day with a late touchdown late in the game. But, I mean, you look at the bench, I mean, I would have won by a couple more points if I put anybody else in, Tutu had 2 catches and a touchdown. Otherwise, he had a 2.9-point game. Tank Dell is concussed, dead. Rashid sucks. Kenneth Gainwell cucked. Cam Akers sucks. Javonte hurt. Deontay Johnson hurt. Right? What am I to do? Right? Other than be shit. If I didn't make that trade that I made, I would have won this game by 30 points. At least. So, I don't know. I need JT to figure it out. I need Devontae to figure it out. I need him to stop being a little baby-ass bitch and get over this little shoulder thing that he's got. I need McDaniels gone yesterday because he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL. He doesn't have a clue. This guy doesn't have a clue how to run a franchise. But he keeps getting jobs, you know. So, and for Savoy, you know, of course, Diggs, monster game, Sunday morning, 25 points. Olave, it's been not great. Got a touchdown to kind of salvage his day, but not a good last couple. I mean, Derek Carr clearly is hurt. Clearly he's hurt. Dennis Allen, another guy who does not deserve to be an NFL head coach. That offense has been just abysmal. It's been abysmal. And unfortunately, Olave is having to suffer because of it. You know, Stroud got a touchdown late to keep him from having an absolute dog-dick game. Same with Mostert. You know, Nico, not good. Andrews, okay. Terry, whatever. 8 points out of your flex, 9 points. But, you know, no Herbert for Savoy. He didn't really have much else. Of course, if he put Burita in over AJ, I guess he wins. But, well, does he win? Yeah, he does. By half a point. So, thank God that didn't happen. But anyways, let's see here. So, yeah, that's it. You know, team's shit, whatever. Hopefully they can turn it around. But I ranked myself last in the power rankings this week, my own personal power rankings, because clearly we need a wake-up call. We need a wake-up call big time. So, all right, let's go ahead here, look at waivers. No trades, I don't think. Yeah, so there's been 2 trades all season. We'll see. Trade deadline still in a few weeks. Deadline, you can cut players after this week. After this week, you can cut players that you drafted and still keep them next season. Okay, so that's an important date coming up. What do we got here? We got Keontae Ingram got picked up today. Nice, $7. Plunk missed out on him. Had a $5 bid on him. Cataclysmic Catches picked up Rondale Moore. Suavolave also picked up Jared Goff. Dropped Westbrook Akine. No reason for that guy to ever even be on your roster to begin with. And Plunk picked up Ahmad Salvin. So then Wednesday, of course, was the big run. KJ Osborne was the belle of the ball. Nick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Nick drafted KJ Osborne. Let me see if that's correct. It does not say. Yes, he did. He did draft him, cut him about a couple weeks ago, and now bought him right back for 35 fab. Half the league was in on him. 32 for me, just missed him. Duncan was in for 29. Savoy was in for 29. Blaine was in for 14. Plunk was in for 11. That was it. Another big baller pickup, Logan Thomas for D-Shade, 21 fab. Beat out Plunk for 16 on him. JD had 15 on him. Blaine had 11 on him. I think Savoy used to own him, didn't he? Maybe not. Has he not been on a roster all season? Is this the first time he's been picked up? Wow, that's crazy. Next, DeMarcado got picked up for 17 by Blaine. Snipe D-Shade 15. He had 15 on him. Plunk had 13 on him. So if you stop me if you've heard this, but it sounds like Plunk lost a lot of bids for players on Wednesday. Hate that. Couldn't have it to a nicer guy. Wilson was in for 12. I was in for 7. And golly, it's crazy to me that waivers have been as active. Pretty much every week we've got multiple players getting big money dropped on them and multiple owners in on the same player. I mean, it's very unique here. I got Mingo for 12. I don't think a single other owner was in on him, so that was great. Way overpaid. I think I've dropped like 20 some odd fab on Mingo now. I've picked him up twice. Blaine picked up Dante Foreman for 8. Beat out Plunk. Stop me if you've heard this before. For 6 fab. Dalton Schultz got picked up by 4. Trenton Irwin by Duncan. What a Duncan player that is. Father Figures also picked up Matt Stafford. And Plunk got his consolation tight end and Jonnu Smith. And, of course, Nick tried to pick up his boy, Greg Dulcich. So, love that for him. Anyways, all right, so let's get into a preview of this week's matchups. We will have our special guest picker enter the arena. Ooh, who could it be? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, there he is. The old, this lowest scoring team in the league last week himself.
Perfect time to come in. Perfect time.
Would have been even better if we were playing this week, but oh well. So we'll start off here. Probably should be the game of the week. Not going to be the game of the week. Horse Ass versus the Dirty Birds of War. Two teams, 3-2. Projected to be a very close game. 125 to 121. Looks like he's not going to have Zay Jones this week. A-Chain, of course, he lost him. So we'll see if Zach Moss can do what he did last week. I'm hoping not. But Jacksonville's got a solid defense. They're pretty good. My wide receiver room's kind of yucky. I'm being forced to start Javonte Williams. I think it could be a get-right game, unfortunately, for Connor. And I think my trend continues. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And I like Plunk to win this one. What do you think?
Man, I think even with A-Chan being out, I think Plunk still has a decent edge on RBs just because we don't know what Javonte is yet.
Yeah, not good.
Lamar's got a great matchup against Tennessee.
Yeah, pass funnel.
I'd like this game to potentially hit the total over.
I don't.
But I think maybe Plunk edges out just slightly at the end of the day. Although we'd all love to see Plunk lose 3 straight.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's just what we all need.
Yes. All right. Next here, the McConkners versus Shades Dynasty. You got to change the team name, JD. it's just too easy it's great for the power rankings because I can do a lot of cock-based punts. But I feel bad sometimes doing them even. Especially when you're losing. But anyway. He is projected to lose. JD is projected to lose 116 to 128. And I think that this is maybe just what the doctor ordered. Again, kind of for D-Shade. For Plunk and D-Shade, two teams started out 3-0 on 2-game losing streaks, playing two kind of mediocre teams. And I like D-Shade to bounce back strong here and get a win against JD. He's not playing Joe Burrow again. Wow, he's really hurt him, hasn't he? But I just don't think Gabe Davis is going to keep up the touchdown streak. I don't think, we'll see how T. Higgins is. Ford, not great. D-Shade does have some tough matchups. I think his team total is a little bit high. I'd maybe like the team total under in that one, but I think overall he's going to win this one pretty easily.
Yeah, same sentiment. I don't know how you stick with Cousins after losing JJ and Joe Burrow finding out that Jamar is incredible at football.
Who knew?
Yeah, I just don't see how you stick with that. Absolutely, other than myself, other than my team, I think, JD's running back situation is, you got a lot of just guys. Just guys you just throw in and pray.
Hope they get a touchdown.
We're not even to waste too much time. We were going to roll with Shade on that one.
Yep. We're doing good on time. It's only like 35 minutes. So next here, Razorback Revival and Suave Alave. Projected to be very close. Thought about this being the game of the week. Didn't do it. I believe we are into repeat matchups for the first time this season. Of course, I played Connor back in week 2, playing him again this week. I don't know if anybody else is doing that. I have to look at the schedule to confirm, but at least our matchup this week is a repeat. You start seeing those sprinkled in over the next several weeks here, where you're playing opponents that you've already played. Your group, squad, rivals, I guess. So, anyways, Savoy is projected to win 121 to 119. See if he can bounce back from that devastating loss he took last week. I would love nothing more than to see him beat Nick, because we don't like seeing Nick win. We don't. Okay, him and Connor, no wins for them. Okay, he's being cocky, playing David Montgomery in his flex, and of course it is a very tough, stout Tampa Bay run defense. But I think it is kind of disrespectful given the amount of production that he has given Nick every single week that he's been healthy. So because of that disrespect, and I think his wide receivers are kind of just mid, given their quarterback situation and the whole thing, I'm going to go with Savoy in this one.
Yeah, I'm basically just throwing a 0 at the RB2 spot for now. I can't get any sort of luck there right now. So, the hope right now is that Herbert's non-throwing finger, I'm not worried about that at all. If I can somehow get 55-plus out of him and Mostert, I think I lean myself here. If for whatever reason Wilson comes in and gets a bulk of that load there, that could really hurt me, and that would be on Nick there. As a bettor, not as the person whose team this is, I would probably lean Razorback Revival plus the 2.5. As it stands now, I'm obviously not going to pick him to win.
Yeah,
of course not. But
can't.
As a bettor, that's probably the way I would lean. But I'm going to take myself still.
Yeah. I mean, Philadelphia's secondary is dog shit. It is dog shit. So they're definitely going to probably try to air it out. But
got 2 Monday night players in there for a reason, just to sweat it out. Just to make them sweat it out. We'll see how it is come Monday night.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than having two Monday night players. It's just
which means Terry's gonna have 40 on the bench.
Until it isn't, right? Until it isn't. Whenever you got a guy who gets 1.4 points and but whatever. It's supposed to be fun, right? It's not. Okay. Next here we got the Swamp Donkeys, Cataclysmic Catches. Wilson projected to win 126 to 103. I mean, just insane. Blaine's got a gooser from Dalton Kincaid at the moment. Does he have any other options at tight end? He does not have any. Does not have any other options there at the tight end spot. So we better hope that Kincaid clears concussion protocol. That's a mouthful. But Josh Allen's playing the Giants. Come on, he's gonna crush. DeMarcado, we'll see. I mean, Keontae Ingram's technically the guy there, but we'll see. QJ has not done a lot. So I don't know. Gibbs and Mike Evans, if they get healthy, Amon-Ra is probably going to play too. So this is going to be a lot closer. This is a rat line at the moment. This is not a legitimate line, I don't think. It'd be stealing to take Blaine at plus 22 against anybody. It's tough to gauge Blaine's team because he is dealing with injuries. Wilson, he's got some good juicy matchups here for sure too. I mean, Patty Mahomes tonight against the Broncos, that's got to be 35. He's got to get 35, I think, out of Mahomes tonight to really have a good shot at beating Blaine. Because Thielen can't keep it up, right? He can't. That's a tough one. Never would have thought. Who would have thought, right? I mean, you would think years past, Blaine versus Wilson, slaughter, right? But Wilson's really surprised me these last couple weeks and the last couple seasons. So you know what? He's earned my respect. I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to Wilson. I think Blaine's gonna fall to 2-4 and have some work cut out for him to make it back to the playoffs.
Yeah, I just think Wilson is. I wanted to make fun of him at first, but he's really benefited from the trade. It looks like a great trade so far. Yep. Laporta looks, like one of those guys who's just going to be, in that rare air for tight end spaces down the line. Yeah. Again, you hate to see Justice Hill as who he's got to roll with there for the RB2. But again, it's just tough to see because we don't really know. I mean, Blaine's lineup could easily be projected close to 130 with Evans and Amon-Ra. I mean, you absolutely don't want to have Brandon Cooks and Quentin Johnson trying to win you games. I mean, that's not
you're going to have a bad time.
What's going to happen. And I think sneakily, we saw it last week with Philadelphia. Goddard, was complaining about not getting targets, and then he blew up. Same thing happened to Devontae. Only had one catch last week. AJ had a really good game, so I kind of see that tilting. I think AJ really doesn't have that. He might not even reach his projection if they try to go for Devontae a lot in that game. So I think this game we could look at this next week and think, this ended up being a really close game if Blaine actually does get his receivers in there. But I think right now, I give the slight edge to Wilson. I like the way his team looks outside of Justice Hill, and I think he gets 3 in a row there.
Yep. All right. Penultimate matchup here. Can you feel the love? Doesn't contribute. Craig, can he stay hot? Projected to win 126 over 115, and can Rip go on a winning streak here? You know, Duncan started 0-4 last year. He went on a winning streak to keep that playoff hopes alive. It wasn't like he just won one and then went back to losing, right? So Rip's got to get on a roll here, right? If it doesn't happen right now, if he loses another one, he might stick a fork in him. He might be done, right? So huge game for him. And Craig, like I said, I mean, he's on the come up. I mean, he's not a fraud. Team's not frauds, you know. Jacoby's been a beast. Getting the revenge game against the Patriots. We'll see. I mean, that secondary is it's quite the mess. You know, Zay Flowers, pass funnel defense in the Titans. You know, the DK's back. Ayuk. You know, Kyrie Williams, Josh Jacobs. I mean, Stevenson's been not great on the bench, but he's a lot of potential on that bench, too. I mean, Stevenson and Dotson and Reed and Purdy. I mean, Rasheed. Like, he's got some players now. Craig could be a sleeping giant, I think, this week. And I just, you know, Rip's got to show me more than 1 week, right? You got to show me more than 1 week for me to believe in you. I think he's going to have some tougher matchups this week. The Lions secondary is good. The Jets secondary is good. You know, they're good against the tight ends. Philly's good against the run. Buffalo's good against the run. Well, I take that back. They just got trashed by ETN, but because their whole defense is dead. I forgot. So I think it's going to be – I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think Craig wins this one easily. I think he covers the 10 points, too, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we've had any running backs that have come off of injury and have just exploded the first game they've been back. So it's tough for the Giants, who have looked just abysmal on offense, to go into Buffalo and you think everything's just going to change immediately with Saquon there. I mean, I just don't see it as of yet. Like you said, Cleveland has a stout defense. You know, I'm not going to say give San Francisco some problems, but you know, they could present ways that other teams haven't to maybe slowing down Debo and sort of that offense for a little bit. Like I said, I do think Devontae kind of gets back going this week, so that may be a bright spot for him. We'll see how, you know, Philly does against the Jets, who still have a good defense. You know, as long as they can not turn over the ball on offense, I think they'll be, you know, all right there. But, yeah, Craig's team just looks really good on paper right now. A lot of guys who I thought were going to be boom or bust at first have kind of come on, and Justin Fields, that Minnesota-Chicago game, we have literally no idea what that's going to look like. So I'm going to lean slightly towards Craig, but I'm not going to touch that line if we're gambling. I'm not going to touch the line, but I do think Craig gets this win here.
I need to dip the pen in. I need to get some action going.
I haven't
got any action this whole season. Not a single bet yet.
We're 1-on-1 on bets here.
Yeah. All right, and then that brings us to our game of the week. We're ready for it. The Flamin' Hot Cheetos crunchy flavored game of the week. Flamin' Hot Cheetos made with real cheese. Believe it or not, I don't believe it. It is, you know, got a little bit of no added sugars. Wow, you know, good bit of sodium, a little bit of fat, of course, just chips. Made with enriched cornmeal. Vegetable oil, made by Frito-Lay. It's got a smart label. You know, I was at the gas station the other day. I was buying some stuff, and at Circle K, just up the road here, and you literally just put your shit on like a little platter, and it just like reads what you have and knows how much it costs. It's crazy. It read this as a 6-pack of Coors Light, so it can't be that smart.
Welcome to the future.
But you know, you connect. You can even get on the Instagram and the Twitter. It is still Twitter. See the little birdie. It's not an X. It's never going to be an X. I got it on my phone still. Try to take it, Elon. You can't. But anyways, I've never had these before. I'm normally just a regular Cheeto guy, but hey, you got to change things up, spice things up. So the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, the official Flamin' Hot chip of the Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League. Would you like one? Okay. All right. Cheers. It's not fucking hot at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. There it is. All right. There it is a little bit. There at the end there.
Get you a little kick.
Hey, Powerade Zero, another sponsor. Yeah, there it is. Just a little bit at the end there. That's okay. All right, father figures, kickers' lives matter. Start off here, battle of the quarterbacks. Ford is projected to lose, 115 to 116. Huge game for both of these guys. They're both sitting at 2-3. If you go 2-4, your odds of making the playoffs drastically go down compared to getting back to 500, right? So huge game. Cannot understate this enough. Matt Stafford against the shitty Arizona Cardinals versus maybe Deshaun Watson against the 49ers. Yikes. If it's not Deshaun, it's going to be nobody. He has no other quarterbacks on his roster. We're going to go with Ford in that one.
Yeah, no-brainer. Yeah, I'm not until someone shows me that they can just destroy or get at the 49ers. Yeah, I'm not picking any quarterbacks there.
Can't. Battle of the running back. You got Bijan and Kenny Walker versus Austin Eckler and Isaiah Pacheco. Eckler should be back. Looks like he's going to be back. Huge boon for him. I like Bijan. I like Kenny. Pacheco's got a great matchup, and I love Eckler. So this one's tough. I'm tempted to push this matchup, but I think I'm gonna have to give the slight edge overall to Eckler and Pacheco, just because the matchup's so good for Pacheco. I'm gonna give Duncan the slight edge there, but it's only just.
Yeah, that was my immediate thought was the push. I think San Francisco's kind of giving you the blueprint, what you can do on offense. Herbert,
yeah,
you got to account for Herbert. So Eckler might have some room to run there, and again, Pacheco has just a great matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight, I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm gonna push it. It's tough to look at. I don't know how Bijan's going to look. He doesn't have a rushing. He has the most, I think he has the most yards in the league for a running back without a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
So really you're just banking on his receiving talent there. Washington still has a great front.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to push this one for now.
Yeah, Cincinnati's got a solid defense too.
Yeah.
I mean, that catch was sick though.
Yeah.
On the hip. All right, battle of the wide receiver, Amari Cooper, Hollywood Brown, and Josh Reynolds. Sorry for laughing. It's just funny, versus Tyler Lockett, Christian Kirk, and Cortland Sutton. Oh man. Hey, if this was like 5 years ago, holy shit! Right? What a wide receiver room. I don't know, man. I'm gonna push. This is shitty. I'm gonna push. I don't want to pick any of these guys.
I mean, you've got the ultimate boomer bust player in Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
I mean, he could literally give you 2 or 30. So,
I mean, Hollywood's been consistent, sure.
The only thing that I'll say for Duncan is you could see Denver get down in this matchup. Gets Russ throwing the rest of the game, and that kind of gives Cortland some edge down. Down in the second half, and then Christian Kirk. Showed last week that he's still very much a great football player.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give the edge to Duncan here. I cannot give the edge to someone who's starting Josh Reynolds. I mean that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Wide receiver 31 on the year. Wow, I'll be damned. All right, battle of the tight end, Cole Kmet versus Darren Waller. I don't know. It's Waller, I guess, just talent. All right.
I'll go Kmet for the matchup.
Yeah.
It's just Minnesota. You got to figure that game is just going to be 2 dog shit teams going at it. We might see 80 points.
So.
You know what I mean? So maybe Kmet. It has been a favorite target of Justin's lately. So we'll kind of see. I'm not betting on anybody on the Giants' offense until I see it.
Yeah, it's just disrespectful, especially whenever you go to the flex and he's got Kittle in the flex, right? Like, whatever. Kittle versus Mixon. I mean, I don't know. Like, Cleveland's got a very, very good defense. Kittle had 3 catches, 3 touchdowns last week. Not sustainable. I think he's going to come back down to reality a little bit. I think it's probably going to be an ugly game up there in Cleveland. It's getting cold. Probably going to be like 55 degrees. Ugly under game. So I'm going to go with Mixon in that one.
Yeah, if the Bengals are sort of getting back rolling, if that's kind of as a previous Kittle owner, I've never seen him have a monster game back to back. So you can almost guarantee he's going to have 7 or less this week.
Yeah.
And I like Mixon to get in the end zone and in the red zone look or something like that. So I like Mixon there as well.
Okay. All right. So overall, buddy, that's a tough one. Obviously, I gave the edge to Ford, I think, in more categories. But looking at it overall, I think I'm gonna go with Duncan. I'm gonna go with Duncan to win it.
Yeah, I could see this being I could see this being actually really close to Ford's projection, but not in the way he thinks. I think this might be a boom game for Stafford. He's got he's obviously got the rapport with Kupp, a full game back, and they might kill the Cardinals. So I think he gets a little boom there from him. May gets a good boom from his 3 running backs, and then his receivers may stink, and he still might be right around 110. So if Eckler comes back and he looks like how we know Eckler can look, I give the slight edge to Duncan.
It's tough. it's a tough game to week. The receivers don't have a great matchup this week for Ford, and I think ultimately that hurts him. I just don't see, but again, I don't see Deshaun really playing well against 49ers. A very, very slight edge. This could be the throw up all over yourself game this week. So, very slight edge to Duncan. Very, very slight edge. Yep. All right. There you have it. Hogs are playing Alabama. Not much to talk about there. It's going to be a slaughter. Take Bama with the points.
But if they win. Boy, we're going to have a Saturday. But
alcohol budget's going from this much to this much.
We are going to have a Saturday.
So, I might not make it to the altar. So somebody have to roll me up there in a wheelchair. But anyway, wedding week this week. Excited to see everybody. Like I said, if you don't make it, and if you make it in on Saturday, you're dead to me. Leave the league. What else do you have to do with your time, with your life? It's 3 hours away. So he's here. He's here on Thursday. Duncan's here on Thursday. Where are you, Rip? So anyway, that's all I got this week, fellas. Good luck. Be safe getting down here. And as always, whoop big.